What's up, YouTube? 1337 Pimpnite here. We are back with the Hacker Exposed, people. Okay, I got a really funny video for you. With this one, right, just before I even get into it, these videos are just a joke, right? They're not like a personal attack on anyone like that. It's just to show you a funny battle that I had with a hacked Pokemon. Now, quickly, this was obviously a live recording. My narration is not live, but the video was live there. I'm actually starting to record all my battles live there, just due to Wi-Fi dropouts and funny things like this I've missed out on in the past. Okay, so obviously Shiny Celebi, it is shiny locked. You cannot get it, without any sort of like hacking methods. So anything like that. I will put that in the description though. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. You can't actually get it shiny at this point in time. So I'll put them in the description there as well. Not that it doesn't bother me that much, but I know I just do battles anyway. But I'm just saying you can't get it shiny. So let's get into this one anyway. So I was invited on my Festival Plaza. Now, I had a random team here. This was actually, I think this was a team from my stream, like a random couple of teams that I bought for a multi-battle or whatever. So here I'm just bringing my team in here. I didn't even realize at the moment this was going to be like this was a very, very fun video too. So you guys make sure you stick around for the whole thing. It was actually a really, really good battle. Despite the music hack Pokemon, but it was fun. Okay, let's get into this, guys. If you want to see some other Hacker Exposed videos, I'll put that playlist at the end of the video too. It actually was, there's some very, very funny ones there. Okay. So I couldn't get a theme team up tonight, but I did actually ask you guys whether you wanted one or the other, and you guys wanted this one there on my Twitter. Okay, so he's selected his team now. She selected their team. This was, as I said, this was a live recording, so I wanted to, I didn't want to speed everything up. I wanted to actually tell you what my thought process is at the moment. Okay, so as soon as I saw the Celebi, as you would, you'd probably burst out laughing. I was like, this is hype. 6 Celebi, I can't wait to, versus this team. I wonder what it's going to be. As I said, I just use random. You probably noticed some of those Pokemon were from some of my previous theme teams. Yeah, so they had 6 Celebis. I was like, okay, this is going to be a cool battle. I'm already hyped for this. Here, obviously, I didn't know at this point that they were going to be shiny ones. But that's all good. Okay, so we're into the battle now. I'd actually just cut that little bit out there because it, it has a black screen in the middle. Anyways, so we get into this one. So I was wondering, I was sort of like I wanted to humor them a bit. I wanted to see, what Celebis they had or whatever like that. It was quite interesting. I've actually never done a Celebi team myself. It was interesting. So as soon as old Johnny here threw out the Celebi, it was pink. I started laughing because I knew you couldn't get that one. Obviously here I was like, okay, unless it's come out as an event or something like that. So here I just quickly just checked everything before I before I said it was it was obviously it was shiny hacked and you can't get it. I'd say that after this battle too, well, I won't say it now, but after this battle, none of their stats were modified or anything. I did do damage calculations and everything, so it's just the Pokemon that was shiny hacked. I don't even know how this shit gets through because it is 100% shiny locked. All the shiny locked Pokemon I'll leave in the description there too. At this point, I was actually just looking up whether it was shiny locked or not, because I was 100% sure it wasn't, but I just, I wanted to make sure anyway. The last thing I want to be doing is, getting it wrong. All right, anyway, so starting off with Eradicate here. This is my Focus Energy Hyper Fang set. I'm getting hit by the C-Bomb here, so it's a physical Celebi, which does 3/4 of my health. Eradicate is the most bulkiest Pokemon in the world either. So this is a Hustle Hyper Fang set with the Focus Energy holding a Scope Lens. So I thought Hyper Fang would do some nice damage if it did miss, which it didn't. I was like, hype. Celebi is very, very bulky though. It takes it nicely. That's going to be a crit, and it's going to have a Citrus Berry there, so it's going to get most of its health back. Now it's going to be able to finish me off with the C-Bomb. So I was like, okay, this is this is going to be an interesting battle. So that's my Eradicate down. Now I had 2 Pokemon that were rather good against the Celebis, but I wasn't sure what other ones I had, at the point. So I thought I'm just going to leave them back at the moment. And see what the other ones have, because I've got no idea. Celebi's got so many different moves, or are they just going to be the same 6 Celebi or whatever? Okay, so swapping in Serena here. This is my this is also a Scope Lens. This was a Scope Lens Acupressure set. Now Acupressure randomly raises a stat by 2 stages. On this, my main focus on this was Razor Leaf, which got like 100, nearly gets close to 100% crit, but not quite. Gets High Jump Kick, and it also gets Play Rough. So I thought, let's set up some Acropressures there. I wonder what physical moves this thing is going to be able to hit with me. I know that it does have access to stuff like U-turn, so I wasn't too surprised when they hit me with it. But I'm fairly bulky there, so I'm going to take that one fairly well. Okay, so they're going to swap in. You'll never guess the next Pokemon. So here I was thinking, well, maybe they've only got one, maybe only one of their, Celebis is shiny. Perhaps the rest will be, they'll be just normal little green onions, not red onions. So I'm just waiting for them at the moment to send out the next Celebi. I thought they, I was a little bit worried there was going to be a DC because I was like, damn, that would be a funny video guy. But the next one is also shiny as well. Okay, so I've got my Acropressure up. Things are going, they're going too well. I lost my first Pokemon. I got to see the other one before that. So that looked like a physical sweeping Celebi there. I'm not sure. I know that it gets access to the stuff like Sword Dance as well, so I wasn't really sure. So here I was thinking, well, here I could go for Play Rough, or I could go for another Acropressure, or I'm going to go down to whatever attack this is going to throw. I know the grass attacks are going to be fine with. It's anything else outside of that. So I was like, bugger it, let's go for Acropressure again. Let's see what I can get. So Acropressure obviously is random, so I get Accuracy Raise, which isn't too bad. Now, the Celebi is going to set up a Reflect here. So this is a bulky Celebi, obviously. So it's got the Reflect up, so I was like, oh, that sucks, because that's all my physical hits are going to do nothing for how many turns. I wasn't sure if it had, if it was 5 turns or if it was 8 turns with the Light Clay. I wasn't really sure. The item really wasn't revealed yet. Anyway, so I was thinking, should I swap here or should I just go for more boost? Decided here to go for more boost because but I was like, bugger it, this is going to be a fun battle. I want to see what I can get. So I got an Evasive Rise there. It's going to set up a Light Screen now. So this is a screener Celebi here. It's set up the Light Screen and Reflect there. So actually, mostly on my team, I had physical, they were basically all physical attack. It really wasn't a team I put together well. It was just it was a team for multi-battle. Just bought 6 random Pokemon. Anyway, so I was like, bugger, let's just go for Play Rough anyway. I get a huge amount of damage there. I get a crit, so that my item actually did work there. Celebi is going to set up the Stealth Rocks there, and it's got Stealth Rocks on both screens. So I was like, oh, maybe it's got like Giga Drain or Energy Ball or U-turn, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so it was in very close range for me to actually take out. He was like, I might be able to get this down with a Play Rough, even with the screens up. That'd be such a good result there. So I'm just, I was thinking what the best play would be. I know that obviously Celebi has access to Recover too, so I was a little bit worried about that, but I was quite certain I could actually take this out. And it lives on like 1 health. Like, what the hell? Oh man, that crit before, right? That was like false hope. So now it's got half of its health back. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that again. So, I'm pretty salty at the moment. Okay. Thinking what I should do. Should I just keep going for Play Rough, hoping for a crit, or should I get another Acropressure boost off here? The crit chance isn't super high, but there is a chance of it, just from my item. That's about it. Okay. So I was quite certain this thing couldn't do much damage to me unless it had something like Psychic or anything like that. However, they're going to swap out their Celebi there and send in another Celebi. So we got another shiny Celebi here. So at this point, it's like, okay, the whole team is probably shiny here. Okay, so going for yet another Acropressure here. I get a boost in attack again, so it's like, that's awesome. Okay, so here I could go for Play Rough again. The Reflect is, basically not going to do anything. That Acropressure has now, basically rendered that one useless. So I'm at +2 there. At this point in the game. Look at that Celebi. Okay, so going for Play Rough here, I was hoping that I didn't miss. I did. I got some nice damage there, but it's fairly bulky itself here. Now it's going to go for Nature Power. What the fuck? So Nature Power in a Wiper battle turns into Tri Attack. I was like, oh my god, don't get frozen or hacked or anything. Thank god I don't here. So here I can go for another Play Rough here. I was thinking I could go for another Acropressure because they probably, if they had another move to take me out, they would have already done that. So I was thinking, should I do it or not? I decided to play it safe and go for another Play Rough here. But didn't even need to make that pun. So I almost took it out there. We have the Nature Power turning into Tri Attack again. As I said, I was just hoping I didn't get burned or frozen or paralyzed, which I don't, so I'm on 69 health here. So I can just finish it off with a Play Rough, and that'll be a 1 Celebi down here. So I was at this point in time, I was having quite fun with this battle. I quite like the look of Shiny Celebi too there. Anyways, so I think, so I just went for Play Rough here, just to finish off the first Celebi. It's like, good, I got one down, that's nice. And I got a crit there too, just to, rub some salt into the wound. So I might be able to get a Serena Sweep here. The Reflector's now gone, so I'm hyped, guys. I might be able to get a Serena Sweep with the Scope Lens. I've actually been trying to get a sweep with this set for a long time. Had Scope Lens with a Razor Leaf, to go for the scummy crit chance, Acro Pressure, and High Jump Kick and play rough. Mainly trying to rely on that Razor Leaf, but I couldn't do it this battle because, they were all grass types, so it was going to do donkeys. Okay, so just waiting for them to send out the next Shiny Celebi here. This was really, I was expecting it. I thought this was going to be a DC here after the first one, but no, it wasn't. They have the next Celebi out here, so it's like, what's going to come this time? So we had a bulky one. You think back, we had a bulky one. We had a physical one with C-Bomb. We had a special one with Nature Power Tri-Attack. So that's some crazy ones so far. Okay, anyway, so going for the play rough here again. It does a nice lot of damage. They're doing over half health. Celebi is very bulky as well. I get a track drop there now. It's going to finish me off with the Giga Drain there. So that's my Serena down. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get that sweep there. I so wanted to get it against the 6 Celebi. It would have been like the greatest thing ever. Don't worry, guys. The Serena sweep will come eventually. I just have to get lucky enough with those crits. All right, so the opposer Celebi has got leftovers there, so it's yet another bulky set. The light screen does wear off there too. Not that I don't have any special Pokemon to actually do anything. Okay, so here I was just deciding what to send in. I actually had I had Heracross, which was a nice Pokemon here. Unfortunately, I was running a different set. We have my King Trident here. Now, I didn't have, my Heracross actually wasn't running Mega Horn, so I was like, fuck, that would have been, that would have been 6 Mega Horns and GG there, unless I got outsped or something like that. Anyway, so I was just hanging that one back. I wanted to send in old King Trident here, see if I could get some Sword Dance Steel Wing action happening here. Now, this has a Citrus Berry too. This was a Citrus Berry set. I had Agility there to boost my speed. I had Sword Dance, Waterfall, and Steel Wing. Steel Wing is a hype move, so I thought I'd use that. It's pretty fun too, and the action is so bad. Now, the Celebi is going to outspeed me and go for the Carmine. So it's a scummy, bulky Carmine set. So I was like, it could be something like max health, max defense with Carmine. Definitely thinking it's got Recover or something like that. They normally always do. And had Giga Drain too. Wasn't sure what the other move would be. Just maybe a coverage type move. Anyway, so it's got a Giga Drain up there. I knew that I'd be able to take this because Empoleon has nice special defense there. And, it's bulky. Even though this is a sweeper one, it's fairly bulky there. And with my steel typing, it's going to make the damage there neutral. Okay. So here I was thinking, well, I could go for Steel Wing here and just get some damage off. It's going to hit me with Earth Power. So it has Giga Drain and Earth Power for coverage there. Does lots of my health there. I'm able to eat a berry in the air and get all of my health back, nearly all of my health back there, over half. And now here I can go for the Steel Wing. It doesn't miss there, and I hit it pretty hard, but it still doesn't do very much damage. So it's definitely max health, max defense, and super bulky pain in the ass. Here I was thinking, well, I could go for Agility there, or they're going to attack again with Earth Power. Or I got to swap out here. I got to swap into something that resists that Earth Power. What should I do? I don't really want to waste off my, my Empoleon on this point in the game. He may be helpful later on. I could swap it into my Heracross, because Heracross is going to resist Giga Drain. It's going to resist, it's going to resist both of those moves. So I thought that'd be the best swap in here. So into Heracross. This is the Flame Orb set. Unfortunately, I wasn't running my Mega Horn. So I'll let you know what I said. This was a Flame Orb Gut set instead of the Moxie set. Obviously, that was going to go... I thought that in my attack, but it ended up going for Recover. Yay. So I had Knockoff on this, which I thought would be really strong against all of them there. It was just dependent whether I was going to get outsped or not. So I had Knockoff. I had Close Combat on this. I had Protect. I'm trying to think what the other move I had on. I'm trying to remember what it's gonna come to me in a second. I think I might have had Stone Edge or something like that on it. Anyways, so I was kind of regretting not having my stab at the moment, but I did have Knockoff and Flame Orb, and that was, that's very, very powerful here. Okay, so waiting for them to make a move. So going for the Knockoff here, that does a crap load of damage, almost taking the bulky set out, knock off that leftovers. Now it's going to go for the Giga Drain here, but Giga Drain is going to be resisted by my Heracross, so I take that one really, really nicely here. So I was like, this is basically game here. With the Heracross, because Flame Orb isn't doing a lot of damage to me. I know that I'll be able to basically one-shot all the rest of them. There's no screens or anything up. That was definitely a max health, max defense Celebi there. So going for the knockoff here, on which I'm going to outspeed again, and that's the bulky Celebi, defensive Celebi down. So I was like, this is really good. The only thing I was worried about was maybe a Choice Scarf Celebi coming in, something like that. to actually take me out there with, you know, like maybe Hidden Power Fire. Like, I mean, they already had a Shiny Celebi, so it'd be like no stretch of the imagination they had a Hidden Power Fire on it too. Anyways, so just waiting for them to make their move here. I was in a very, very good position. Like, I was always expecting that DC. A lot of the time, I do get disconnections, especially against like battles like this. It's crazy. Okay, so they send out their next Celebi here, so like, they're going to continue. So another Celebi. What Celebi set is it going to be, guys? So it's actually a pretty even battle at the moment. 4 Pokemon all. I've got the knockoff here. I'm not locked into an item or anything like that, which is good. I can just freely go for knockoff. So that was my, that was my idea on the last 4 pokes. Okay, but things escalated, and you probably guessed that. So anyways, went for the knockoff here. Celebi lives like on a dick of health there. A knockoff is like Meadow Plate. What the fuck? Then it goes for a fucking Future Sight. I'm like, what the fuck? So, like, it's don't even. Like, I was trying to register what I was laughing very much. I wish I actually got this one on live record with my commentary. It's just the problem is, guys, I can't like narrate every live battle because some are just dead battles. Anyway, so the Celebi is going to go for the protect there. It's going to protect. So it's trying to stall me out with a Future Sight. So the next Future Sight is absolutely going to take out my Heracross here. I'm going to have to. It's like let my Heracross die just to get rid of the Celebi on 1 health. It could use Recover. Or let the Heracross die. I've got 1 Pokemon back that could actually still, do very well against the Celebi too, or save the Heracross for maybe a little bit later on. This is what I was contemplating at the moment. What that Future Sight Protect. I have to admit, they have had some really cool sets. So swapping out Heracross there, I thought old King Trident would be a nice swap in here. Since I've already burned up my Citrus Berry, I'm not going to have that recovery I really needed. And as I thought it was going to go for recovery, I was like, but anyway, they could have easily gone for the double Scummy Protect and got that. I would have died to the Heracross. My Heracross would have died and I would have been so salty there. Okay, so the Future Sight doesn't hit me for very effective damage there, which is fine. So here I can go for a free Sword Dance, or I can go for a Steel Wing here. I was thinking, what are they going to do? Are they going to just be a Stally set there with Future Sight as their only attack? Are they going to have something like Toxic? I was thinking what other moves would couple nicely with Future Sight. It's not really a move you see too often there. It is a cool move though. It's one of those delayed moves. Anyway, so they're going to swap out their Celebi there and swap in their next Celebi. Now, we've already seen this Celebi before. I think this was the physical one. And no, this was the screener one. So as soon as I seen it come out, I'm like, bugger. Even if I went for the Steel Wing there, I wouldn't have attacked it. So I've got a Sword Dance up. I'm like, that's good. Here I could probably go for a Steel Wing in and try and take it out, or go for another Sword Dance to just try and get rid of this thing so it can stop setting up like Reflect and Light Screen, that sort of thing. However, it's going to outspeed me and set up the Reflect there, so I was like, bugger. I didn't want that to happen again. Anyways, old King Triton's going to get outsped there, going for the Steel Wind, so it's about, it's the same as me having no Sword Dance up there. The Reflect basically got rid of that. So, here I was thinking I could go for yet another Sword Dance. I could get maybe two more Sword Dances up if they're going to try and stall me. That sort of thing. They obviously had nothing to hit me with there. It was just like a pure stalling Celebi, set up screen, stealth rock, that sort of thing. Alright, so they're going to set up light screen again, which is fine because like I don't have any special Pokemon on my team there. So going for yet another Sword Dance here on my Empoleon. I really needed to take this thing out. It was a big pain in the bum. Oh, that Future Sight though. Anyway, so once again, we still got a pretty close battle here. 4 Pokemon all. Now, this was the thing I was thinking. I could go for Steel Wing here to finish it off. Or it may just live on like 1 health again, and I don't want that to happen because that would be really, really bad. Now the Celebi is going to go for a Recover. I'm like, this thing doesn't even have any attacking moves. It's got Recover, Reflect, Light Screen, and Stealth Rock. It's just a scummy set. Okay, so going for the Steel Wing there, I would have been so close whether they killed if they didn't go for a Recover. However, now I'm stuck whether this thing is going to use Recover and just keep trying to... I'm not sure they're trying to PP Storm me or something like that. This is the problem. I was thinking, am I going to go for am I going to go for Sword Dance now? Going for the, go for Steel Wing again. The Celebi's going to go for Recover again. Or should I swap here? Is that going to be a trap? Are they going to swap into another Pokemon? They decided to trap me into going for another Sword Dance and swapping another Celebi here. So I was like, bugger, I should have just gone for a freaking Steel Wing there. That would have probably nearly taken that Celebi out. I wasn't sure how bulky it was. Anyway, so I've got 3 Sword Dances up. Now, unfortunately, the Celebi is going to be able to take me out, so lots of little mind games going on at the moment. Okay, So obviously I'm not going to be able to outspeed this thing, whatever move it's going to use. So this is sort of relying on agility. I wish I kind of got the agility up there. However, that's me down with the C-bomb there. So that reflect really screwed me over. However, I did stall a couple of turns out with it, which was nice. So I do have Heracross, and I do have one other, my Decidueye as well. How I decided to go to Heracross, I just want to get this, I really want to get rid of these Celebi. They're so annoying. Okay, so the problem is I had Stealth Rock damage there as well. That really sucked. Okay, so I'm down 3-4 here. I really need to, I need to get back into this game. Okay. So I knew knockoff would do some good damage, but it wouldn't, if it was fairly bulky Celebi, it wasn't going to, definitely wasn't going to take it out. Plus, it wasn't stab either. All right, so they're going to swap out their Celebi here and go into their next Celebi, which is the same Celebi for the bulky stalling one here. I went for the knockoff here. I popped that knockoff. I think it was a crit there. It was. And that Celebi goes down. I was like, oh my God, that was so lucky. That thing definitely would have lived. And it had the light clay as well. So it's a scummy reflect, 8 turns, reflect and light screen there. So I was very, very happy to get rid of that. So that thing couldn't set up freaking reflect again. Oh my God, and just stole the shit out of me. I knew that it was going to swap it in, then spam recover. Okay, so we're 3-all at the moment here, people. Pretty dang close battle at the moment. So, this is actually a very, very fun battle. Okay, so the Celebi that came out before, I believe, then swapped back into that bulky Celebi with the screens before. It was quite hard keeping track of these. I had to remember what damage and stuff I did to them. Okay, so going for the knockoff here, I was hoping this was like a more sweepy one, but it still didn't do enough damage because of the reflect, and Celebi is going to take me out there with the aerial way. So I'm like, okay, this is a physical set. So Heracross is down, but which sucks. But I do have, I did have one more Pokemon that was, could go really well against the Celebi there. I had one Pokemon that was absolutely useless. This was my only special Pokemon. I did have one special Pokemon, and it was my Samurai Jack. This was a special Gallade here, but the problem was I didn't have any good moves against it. Right? I had Calm Mind on this. I had Focus Miss. With the Scummy Z move, and I had Synchronize, which was not going to do anything anyway, and I was trying to remember, and I think that's all my moves, and I think I had and I had Psyshock as well, so I was like, oh my God, I'm walled so hard here. The best thing I could possibly do here was, maybe stall out that reflect. That was really my only hope here. I needed that reflect gone for me to, get back into this game. Okay, so here I was thinking I could go for the Z move right off the bat here, or go for the Calm Mind here. Or they could go for Sword Dance. That could be really bad. So I was like, bugger, I need to get damage here right away. Going for the Synchronize there does absolutely nothing there. Now they're going to go for Aero Waves there. So thank God they don't go for the Sword Dance, or if they had it or they didn't. I knew that I'd be able to take one. The Reflect does wear off, so that's good. That's good. So I was thinking here, well, I might as well just go for Focus Blast Z move, the all-out pummeling there. The light screen is, I think it's still up, but that doesn't matter because I just want to get some damage off here and see if I can take it out there. Now I've got one more Pokemon to see if I can get back into this battle. So we're heading on 20 minutes into the battle here. Gallade's gonna, Samurai Jack's gonna do some all-out pummeling here. All I need is like a little sword in my hand. Anyways, so going for it's such an appropriate move on Gallade there, and that's going to do absolutely nothing to the Celebi. It actually tanks that one, just rip, no damage. So it's going to be able to take me out with the Aero Ace this turn, unfortunately. But I did have one more Pokemon left, which was going to be really nice against the last couple of Celebi here, if I was able to do that. Okay, so Decidueye was my last Pokemon. The light screen's gone, the reflect's gone, all that shit's gone, so I can finally do some good damage here. So, I've got Blind Archer. Now, this was a Sword Dance Spirit Shackle set. I also had Razor Leaf on this, which is another. I was trying to get multiple sweeps with this Scope Lens Razor set, and also had Sucker Punch on it too. Okay, so I wasn't sure what speed stat this would be running, so I had Sucker Punch. So I thought that'd be a good one to take the Celebi out, but I also didn't really want to reveal it so early on because there was 2 Celebi left there. But I thought I got no choice here. This is my last Pokemon. I've got to get rid of this thing. Okay, so Celebi's gone. There's 2 more Celebi left here. So I knew. I think there was one that I already had seen, and there was one unknown that I hadn't seen at the point in this game. Okay, so there are fifth Celebi there. This was the feature site one, so I was like, okay, so this could have something like Toxic. I was really tempted here just to go for an attacking move to take it out, but I was worried like if it would live, then it would get something like Future Sight off. That would be really bad here. I wasn't sure what to do here. Okay, so I thought I need to get some damage. There's 2 Celebi left there. I'm probably not going to be able to take both of them out here, so I decided to go for the Sword Dance. They went for a Protector, so I was like, that's perfect. I was able to get a free Sword Dance here up on the Celebi, so that's really good there. So I've got Spirit Shackle and Sucker Punch, which are really strong against them. Razor Leaf is going to do monkeys, but that's fine. Okay, so here I was thinking, well, it's a bulky one. It's probably not going to outspeed me, so I can go for the Spirit Shackle here to take that out. The other Celebi is not going to be wanting to swap into that. And that'll be the 5th Celebi down here. So going for Spirit Shackle, I knew this one would take it out here. And old Blind Archer actually misses this target. It's quite an appropriate name there too. Anyways, so the Celebi is down. We've got one more Celebi, and we've got my Decidueye. Now, this was interesting. So I was wondering, is this going to be able to outspeed me? Should I go for the Sucker Punch, or should I go for Spirit Shackle? Does it have a move to one-shot me? I was thinking here for a little bit here what to do. It was Sucker Punch or Spirit Shackle. One of those 2 moves. I decided here, I was thinking Sucker Punch would probably be my best play if it was faster than me. I can't risk to take any damage there because, Decidueye isn't the most bulky Pokemon. Went for Sucker Punch. They went for a cover predicting me. I was like, what? So anyways, it could be a bulky set. I was like, crap. I have to go for Spirit Shackle here. I'm confident that I can outspeed them. It's obviously, it's probably not going to be a sweepy set with Recover there. That was what I was thinking at this point in the game. Anyways, so they actually outspeed me. I'm like, no! They've got Shadow Ball here. And I take that one on 31 health. I'm able to get off the freaking Spirit Shackle. They have Life Orb as well. And that is game, ladies and gentlemen. I had the Sword Dance up, which was enough to take out the bulky Celebi. Man, that was a good battle. You got to admit that was a good one. I had so much fun with this one. Thanks for the battle, dude. Just shows you guys you can have a good battle too. Just you can use normal Celebi, not little red onions, and you can still have a good battle. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Now, I just think, okay, this went. No, it wasn't a DC. I was actually able to save the battle too. But instead of me showing you just a quick sped up version of the battle, I just wanted to have show you all my thoughts and everything with that. But man, that was a really fun battle, and it went for like nearly, it went close to half an hour there. So thank you for the battle, that one there. And I'm just going to, I think I just went to save the battle at this point. But anyways, people, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you do want to check out any of my other Hacker Expose videos, you can check that out at the playlist at the end there. For now, I've got something highly important to do.